Mark Ronson stood in his studio, headphones on, eyes closed, listening to recording from 2008. Amy's voice, raw take, unfinished song. She'd recorded 2 verses, started third, stopped mid-line, said, "That's not working," never returned to finish it. The track sat in archive now, along with dozens of others. Fragments, ideas, possibilities, songs that almost were but never became. Mark kept them all, preserved them, couldn't bring himself to delete potential. He removed headphones, stared at computer screen, list of unfinished Amy tracks, each one different story, different reason for incompletion, different piece of genius left hanging. The earliest unfinished song dated to 2003, before Frank, before anyone knew Amy's name. Simple recording, just voice and guitar. She'd written 2 verses, melody rough but promising, then stopped, moved on to something else, left this one behind. Mark found it years later, going through old sessions, recognized Amy's voice immediately, even young, even unpolished, unmistakable. He'd asked her about it once. "Remember this?" She'd listened, smiled. "God, I was 19, barely knew how to write songs. It's good though, it's unfinished. Could we finish it?" "No, that song belongs to past Amy. She gets to keep it incomplete." Mark respected that, archived it, let it rest. Every artist leaves unfinished work behind. But Amy's unfinished songs weren't just abandoned tracks. They were glimpses of futures that never happened, albums that never formed, evolution that never occurred. Each incomplete song was question without answer. What if she'd finished this? What would have come next? Salaam Remi had his own archive. Different songs, different fragments. His studio in Miami held recordings Amy made during visits. Quick sessions, spontaneous ideas, some fully formed, others barely started. One track, dated 2007, was just Amy humming melody. No words, no structure, just pure musical thought. 3 minutes of her voice-finding pattern, exploring possibility, then stopping, saying, "I'll come back to that." Never did. Salaam kept it, labeled it Amy Melody Fragment 0317.07. Listened to it sometimes, wondered what words would have fit, what song it could have become. He'd tried finishing it once, added bass, added drums, added everything except what mattered. Amy's words, Amy's completion, Amy's vision. Without her, the song stayed fragment, beautiful but incomplete. The most haunting unfinished song was called Black Coffee. Amy wrote it in 2006. Recorded demo at home, just piano and voice. 3 verses, no chorus yet. She'd played it for Mark. "This could be incredible," he'd said. "I know, but I don't know how to finish it." "What's it about?" "Morning after, waking up alone, trying to remember night before through coffee cup and cigarette smoke." "That's perfect. That's you." Maybe too much me, maybe too honest. They'd planned studio session, booked time. Then Amy canceled, said she wasn't ready, said the song needed more time, said she'd come back to it. Never did. The demo sat in Mark's archive, piano slightly out of tune. Amy's voice clear and vulnerable. 3 verses of brilliance, then nothing. Song stopping mid-thought, mid-breath, mid-possibility. Blake knew about the unfinished songs. Amy played them for him sometimes. Late night in Camden Flat. Just 2 of them, her at piano, him listening. "What do you think?" she'd ask after playing Fragment. "I think it's beautiful." "But it's not finished? Does it need to be?" "Songs are supposed to have endings." "Says who?" Amy would consider. "Says everyone." Maybe everyone's wrong. Maybe some songs are meant to stay open, unresolved. She'd play it again, leave it incomplete, move on to something else. The unfinished songs revealed something important about Amy's process. She didn't abandon songs because they were bad. She abandoned them because they weren't ready, because they demanded more than she could give in that moment, because completion felt like death sometimes, like closing door on possibility. Mark's studio held the largest collection. His computer showed 37 unfinished Amy tracks, some just ideas. Chord progressions, melody sketches, others nearly complete, missing only final verse or bridge, or decision to call them finished. One track, Midnight Walk, was 90% done. Amy had recorded full vocal, band had laid down parts. Mix was halfway finished. Then Amy stopped, said something felt wrong. Couldn't articulate what. Just wrong. Mark had asked. What needs changing? I don't know. Everything? Nothing? Just not right? It sounds perfect to me. Perfect isn't the same as right. They'd never returned to it. Track sat frozen, nearly finished, but never completed. Like sculpture missing final detail, like painting lacking last brushstroke. The voice memos were different category. Amy recorded ideas on phone, walking through Camden, sitting in pubs, middle of night when melody struck. Quick recordings. Usually just humming, sometimes words, always brief. Her phone held hundreds when she died. Most never transferred to computer, never shared with producers, never developed beyond initial spark. Mark got access to them later, through Mitch, through Estate. He listened to every one. Some were nothing, random sounds, pocket recordings, but others were genius, pure unfiltered creativity, ideas that could have become albums. One voice memo, 30 seconds long, was Amy singing in what sounded like bathroom, acoustics giving her voice natural reverb. She sang, "Love is just another word for lonely when you say it to yourself," then stopped, said, "That's something," never mentioned it again. Mark tried building song around that line, wrote arrangement, imagined structure. But without Amy's completion, it felt hollow, like building house around ghost. The line was brilliant, but incomplete, and incompleteness was part of its truth. The unfinished songs weren't failures. They were process made visible. Most artists hide their fragments, delete the attempts, show only polished results. But Amy's unfinished work survived, preserved in archives, offering glimpse into creative mind, mid-thought, mid-discovery, mid-becoming. Salaam found notebook in his studio, years after Amy's last visit, tucked between couch cushions, her handwriting, song lyrics, half-written verses, crossed-out lines, alternatives scribbled in margins. One page showed song called Tuesday Morning, 3 verses written, 4th started, then abandoned. Notes in margin said, needs bridge but don't know where to go. Salaam kept notebook, didn't finish songs, didn't try. Understood some things needed to stay incomplete, needed to be Amy's even in unfinished state. He'd shown it to Mark once, both producers looking at Amy's handwriting, reading her creative process, seeing how she worked through ideas. She was getting better, Salaam said. She was always good. No, I mean her craft, her writing. Look at these revisions. She was becoming more sophisticated, more precise. Mark nodded. Saw it too. Amy's evolution visible in crossed-out lines, in alternative phrasings, in decisions made and unmade on page. Third album would have been incredible, Mark said. We'll never know. We can guess. Guessing isn't the same as hearing. The posthumous compilation was controversial. Label wanted to release unfinished tracks. Mark and Salaam refused, fought hard. Said Amy wouldn't have wanted rough demos released, wouldn't have wanted world-hearing songs she deliberately left incomplete. She stopped working on these for reasons, Mark argued. We should respect that. Label pushed back. Fans deserve to hear everything. Fans deserve to hear what Amy wanted them to hear. These tracks? She didn't want them heard. That's why they're unfinished. Eventually, Mark and Salaam won. Most unfinished songs stayed private, archived but unreleased, protected from exploitation. But temptation remained. Technology could complete songs now. AI could generate Amy's voice, could finish verses she never wrote, could create illusion of completion. Both producers refused. That's not Amy, Mark said. That's simulation. Amy's gone. Her unfinished songs should stay unfinished. That's honest. That's real. The unfinished songs asked uncomfortable question. What would Amy's evolution have looked like? Where would her music have gone? The fragments suggested directions, jazz standards, more orchestral arrangements, possibly hip-hop collaborations. But suggestions weren't certainties. Fragments weren't futures. Blake had recordings too. Personal ones, Amy singing in their flat. No performance, no recording intention. Just singing while cooking, while getting dressed, while existing. He kept them private, never shared, never let label hear them. These weren't unfinished songs. These were private moments. Amy being Amy. Not Amy Winehouse, just Amy. Singing because singing was breathing. One recording, accidentally captured on his phone, was Amy in shower, singing something he'd never heard before. Original melody, made-up words. Just playing, just exploring, just being. He listened to it once after she died, then never again. Too painful, too intimate, too much like she was still there, still singing, still alive. Mark organized the archive carefully, categorized every unfinished track, dated them, noted what was missing, created documentation for future researchers, for biographers, for people who would study Amy's work decades later. He wrote descriptions. Black Coffee, incomplete. 3 verses, no chorus. Recorded January 2006. Piano demo. Amy felt it was too honest, never returned to finish. Or Midnight Walk, 90% complete. Full recording, mix unfinished. Amy said, something feels wrong, but couldn't articulate what. Track abandoned March 2007. Each description preserved not just the music, but the context, the reasons, the humanity behind incompletion. Salaam did similar work. His Miami archive held different fragments, more spontaneous, more experimental, less structured. One session, 4 hours of recordings, was Amy just improvising. No songs, no structure, just voice exploring, finding melodies, testing possibilities. 90% was nothing. 10% was extraordinary. But which 10%? That was question. Without Amy's editing, without her choices. The recordings stayed potential without actualization. Should we release any of this? Salaam asked Mark once. No, this was her process, her private exploration, not meant for public. But it's beautiful. Beautiful isn't the same as ready. She'd hate us releasing her rough work. They agreed. Archives stayed private. Fragments stayed fragments. The unfinished songs became testament to something larger than music. They proved that incompletion wasn't failure, that some things were meant to stay open, that Amy's genius wasn't diminished by what she didn't finish, was actually revealed by it. Her standards, her integrity, her refusal to release anything less than ready. Years later, fans still asked, "Will you ever release the unfinished songs?" Mark's answer never changed. No, those songs are unfinished for a reason. Amy chose to leave them incomplete. We honor that choice. But people want to hear them. People want lots of things. Doesn't mean they should get them. Some things should stay private, stay unfinished, stay Amy's. Salaam agreed, protected the fragments, preserved them, but kept them archived, kept them away from exploitation, kept them honest. The truth about unfinished songs was simple. They weren't lost potential, weren't missed opportunities, weren't failures. They were process, evolution, journey visible. Most artists hide this part, show only destinations. But Amy's unfinished work showed the travel, showed the exploration, showed the human behind the genius. Mark still listened sometimes, put on headphones, played through archive, heard Amy's voice mid-discovery, mid-creation, mid-thought. Each unfinished song was questions she'd asked herself, note she'd explored, possibility she'd considered. Some questions didn't need answers, some notes didn't need resolution. Some possibilities were perfect, left potential. Amy's unfinished songs were exactly what they needed to be. Incomplete, honest, hers. In Mark's studio, the archive remained. 37 tracks. Hundreds of voice memos, notebooks of lyrics, all preserved, all protected, all unfinished. He'd never complete them, never try. The incompletion was the point, was the truth, was the respect he owed to artists who knew when something wasn't ready, who valued integrity over output, who chose quality over quantity, who left songs unfinished rather than release them wrong. The archive stood as monument, not to what could have been, but to what was. Amy at work, Amy exploring. Amy being artist who understood that some songs were meant to stay open-ended, unresolved, incomplete. And in that incompletion lived truth more profound than any finished album could have held. The unfinished songs would stay unfinished forever, exactly as Amy left them, exactly as they should be, perfect in their incompletion. Some artists create music, others create movements. Amy's voice didn't just entertain, it saved lives, inspired change, built foundations. Next time, we explore the Amy Winehouse Foundation, how her legacy became lifeline for struggling youth, and the lives she touches still. What does it mean to turn tragedy into hope? Don't miss the next episode.